All right, we're recording. We have a very, very, very special panel here today. Um, will be discussing the Batman trailer, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson and a few other people. On the panel today, myself, Chosen One, will be the host and moderator. We have Sir Pete Hemmingsley joining us today. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. It's truly an honor, and I'm always grateful to be able to share in discourse about all things fandom. Cheers.
Cool. We've got Infinity's Limit joining us as well.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to be here among some very special guys here. These guys know what they're talking about, so I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. And we have Rusty Shackle.
Hey, this is the Rustic One, broadcasting live from Memphis, Tennessee.
And last but not least, we have Bat Val, the most knowledgeable Batman fan on the panel today.
Hi, everybody. Super excited for this conversation.
Awesome. So we're just going to jump right into it. I've watched this trailer about 10 or 12 times. There's some bits in there that, I've got a few points that I want to bring up. And as these conversations go, you don't know when exactly is the right time to bring these things up. But, we'll just kind of wing it as we go. But I'll just give my general impressions of what I thought of the trailer. As far as intrigue, as far as, what a trailer is supposed to do, in my view, which is supposed to, get you excited, get you interested, get you invested in the actual film that's coming out. If I were to put my investment level on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 5. I hold my stand. Actually, I'll save that for later. So yes, 5 out of 10. Some good bits in there, some cautionary bits in there. But yeah. Let's go to Infinities first. What are your first impressions of the trailer?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, man. It was actually, I thought it was a pretty decent trailer. But there was some stuff in there that felt a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
But I did see some stuff that I liked. I did enjoy seeing Batman fight. Finally, we haven't gotten that in a long time, and the cinematography was pretty damn good, man. It looked
well. All of it, all of the cinematography. Okay, no, never mind. Go ahead. Continue, please.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd say it looks basically the way that Gotham should look, in my opinion.
Okay.
Better than what we've gotten in the past, but there's definitely some stuff in there that's kind of like feels like okay. All right, we'll get into that stuff later on, I guess. But overall impression, I thought it was decent.
Okay, Rusty. Rusty, you there?
Yes, I think it's a solid second trailer. That first one that came out last year was okay, but you didn't get a whole lot of Batman action. I like the scenes of him jumping off the rooftop. I think he's running from the cops, and there's a reverse POV shot where you see him fall, but it's like they've attached a camera to his back. Not sure what to make of the fight scenes. I know there's one moment that's a little probably controversial where he's getting shot by a machine gun at point blank range, which visually it looks cool. It looks cool with the bullets bouncing off of him in the dark. And, practically, I'm just like, how strong is this suit of armor for Batman Year 2? That's like when you get all the way to the third Arkham, well, really fourth Arkham Knight. By the time he gets a really strong piece of armor, and that's late in Batman's career. So I don't know who in this movie is going to stand up to Batman besides the Riddler, because clearly he's just going to beat the hell out of every person he comes across. There's no Bane type. I don't know who's physically going to match him in this movie, and probably nobody will. Batmobile in action. Also, that seems to be explosion proof. Even though I thought it looks like a supercharged Mustang, but I guess it has a bunch of armor on it. Penguin, Colin Farrell's. I like Colin Farrell as Penguin so far. Haven't seen anything of Riddler yet. They're hiding his face, until later. I think the visuals we've seen of him are him wearing a mask and then his face not appearing. So story-wise, I think it is interesting that he seems like he's giving himself up at the very beginning of the trailer so that he can go to prison and meet Batman face to face. Meanwhile, his game is still going on without him. So similar to a Jigsaw type character, he's set up a bunch of stuff to just run, independently of him, or maybe he does have a few henchmen. Yeah, that's all I got for now. I'll think of something later.
Okay, Bad Val.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10. If you're a fan of The Crow, Mad Max, RoboCop, that type of thing, you will be probably interested in this. I am interested in this because I'm interested in those films. Having said that, I did not like what Nolan did with the trilogy. I'm a Burton fan, and I really did like what Todd Phillips did with the Joker, and I think this is a similar type of thing. As a film fan, I would think pretty okay, good movie. As a Batman fan, I'm going to put that to the side because there's a lot of issues from that perspective.
Okay. Sir Pete.
Well, look, I'd say as a trailer for a film, this trailer was maybe 8 out of 10. As a trailer for a film. So if we're looking at films and cameras and scenes and lighting and composition, 8. Now, as a trailer for a Batman, remember that you see this trailer is the kickoff. So Casino Royale, GoldenEye, you have kickoff trailers. So this is the kickoff for a new Batman. And this is the first how would I say, trailer for a Batman relaunch that I've seen, because obviously you had Zack Snyder when he brought Batman in, Batman v Superman. You had obviously the Michael Keaton one, you had the Val Kilmer for Forever. You had, Batman and Robin. Every time they have a new guy, a new person. And for this is the worst launch trailer for a Batman I've seen. It's the worst. As a Batman trailer, it's 7, but that's just as a Batman. So as a regular trailer, it's 8, maybe even 9. As a Batman trailer, if it existed in a vacuum, 7. As a Batman trailer coming out now, after Snyder, after Nolan, after Keaton, that is trying to reestablish and kick it off, this trailer was 2 out of 10. This trailer was a pile of crap. Now, I can go into different details, but you know what I feel about Matt Reeves, Abrams, Lindelof, Orky, Kurtzman, and their team band member, Giacchino. These are guys who've known each other, especially Abrams and Reeves. They've known each other since they were like 12 years old. That they were like cutting movies for, George Lucas or Spielberg. So it's a little gang. Yeah, Spielberg. So it's a little chummy gang. And they've gone around, they've screwed up, Picard, Star Trek, Star Wars. But between themselves, they've screwed everything up. And they're now on DC's back. And the thing about these guys is that they are hacks, some better than others. It's like J.J. Abrams' specialty is that you go in there, you think you're getting something, everybody's screaming and shouting. Before you know it, he's gone. He's got your cash, and you get left feeling like you've almost been raped. because you realize that you've actually got nothing to take home. Nothing has actually happened. While it was going on, it was bombastic screaming. Oh my God! And when it's done, it's like, what the heck just happened? Matt Reeves is a little bit more technical than that. So it's very hard for you to catch him. But once you've seen Apes, kind of Dawn of the Apes, Wolf of the Apes, he's done 3 ape movies. And what exactly happened there? Like, what's the take home? Like, what actually happened in those films? Now, he's at it again with this. And I've got a couple of, because this guy, he, just like Abrams and their whole gang, the guy is a plagiarist. The guy he rips off, and I call him the Nolan disciple. He's literally Christopher Nolan's acolyte. And this guy is ripping off. It's like, it's actually shameless. It's like, mate, you're a professional director. Because he has said he's a fan of The Dark Knight. He said he's a fan of Begins. But you can't just rip off the damn film. You can't just rip off the damn film. And here is what I mean by that. Can you see this share?
Yep.
Please observe. You can see my cursor, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shot from Reeves's trailer. And I think we all know where that's from.
Oh, damn.
That's evidence number 1. See, look, I'm just a young man. I just do the best I can. Now, here we have number 2. That's the breakage explosion of is a reverse angle of the tumbler into the wall in the chase scene in Begins. Is the same thing going on from that right, but this is the back of the car, so he's actually he's coming in to the left. It's the same direction, same trajectory, but just from a different angle. But the feel and the vibe is exactly the same. Begins, Reeves. It's the same thing. We all know that shot. We know what time of day it was. It was the dusk time. It was not night. It was, I think Nolan calls it the magic hour, whatever the hell calls it. And we can see what's happening here. It's exactly the same thing. It's the same principle, the same concept, just from a slightly different angle. So you don't really realize what's going on. But that's what he's doing. We know this shot. The Narrows.
Yep.
Fight with League of Shadows. Here's his fight as well. Guys. And it's the same brown color correction. It's the same thing you're doing. The exact same thing and the exact same vibe. There are other things he's done as well in this trailer, but there's a shot where the camera is flashing as they're shooting him, and he's coming close to the people, close to the guys that are shooting him. And every time the lights go out, he's a little bit closer. The lights go out.
I can share that. I can share that image.
Okay, yeah. Basically, that is a categorical ripoff of a scene in Dark Knight Rises, where Christian Bale is approaching guys, and the camera keeps flashing off. And every time it flashes on, he's a little bit closer. He's a little bit closer. So, all I will say is, it's there to be seen if people want to see it.
Okay. I'll just wait for that Val to share that.
I don't know if you can see it.
That section is a ripoff of a section. It just I'd have to find it in the Dark Knight Rises.
You know what I was thinking about when I saw that scene? I was thinking about that scene at the beginning of Equilibrium when he goes into the room and they're all shooting at the guy.
Yes.
He does the double kick on the door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of when I saw that. I was like, oh, interesting.
That's my initial shakedown on Matt Reeves.
What I will say is this. I feel that, man, I don't know, because it's just, just watching the trailer, and I think when we first had a talk, I think it was you, Bat Val, and POH, Bat Val, and myself, and one of the things I said that Pattinson for me would be judged on is his performance out of costume, or at least what I could tell. It's like the fight. Like I noticed someone mentioned the fight scenes on here. Obviously that's not going under Pattinson's belt, because I think you guys know me long enough where it's like I want to give credit to people. I want to give the just amount of credit to individuals who deserve it. So fight scenes aren't going to him. I noticed Infinity, you said you like a couple of the action scenes. There's a shot where he sort of nose diving down in the trailer, sort of from right to left. He's got a shot where his cape does the little, almost the parachute gliding thing. And I'm saying this is all great. But then when I see the shot of him talking to the Riddler through the plexiglass, and then he punches it and he says, "What have you done?" or something like that. I'm saying to myself, no, this doesn't really see. It's not a matter of me picking apart that specific scene. My problem is, just real quick, my problem is like some of these scenes don't go with others. That's one of my problems. The other problem is, it's like I feel that like I'm looking at sort of the punkers in the rain, and they've got the little war paint on, and Batman has his back to the camera, and he's the centerpiece of the shot. And I'm like, wait, no, this should be Watchmen. This shouldn't be Batman. And I don't know. I feel that there are just so many mismatches here, and I just don't know.
Okay, look, I mean, see, because I don't want to, okay, basically, because I didn't want to go too deep. You asked for initial reaction, so that was my initial reaction, because obviously, this gets very, very technical, but it's like you see, Pattinson, I can't remember what I said when we talked about Pattinson, I believe that my take home from Pattinson was that he will not do the job. He will not do the job. And I don't know whether you can dig out that video or recording that we had, but my take home from him was that this guy will not do the job. Mm-hmm. Now, all I'm saying is that what I saw in that trailer, and part of why I say this trailer is a 2 out of 10 is that I watched a Batman trailer where every time I saw Batman, I felt nothing. That when you make a Batman trailer, you make a Batman film, the prerequisite is that every time he's on the screen, you feel something. You're like, whoa, whoa. You're meant to feel that. I watched the thing, and I'm watching a film where Batman looks like he's just some guy running around.
You know what it is? It's Batboy.
It's like Batboy. It's like Batboy. He's just like some guy running, and then you're screaming and shouting and banging walls. Like you're just some guy running about.
Yeah.
You're not intimidating. You have no posture. You have no presence. Like even that last scene where he's walking towards.
Yep. Exactly.
That is meant to be your money shot.
Yep.
That is where you're going to go. Right. Pattinson has arrived.
And it's flat.
It's
flat.
Chosen. It is flat. Chosen. It is flat. Flat.
Sorry. You mean the scene with where it's upside down and he's approaching a penguin?
Yeah. This scene, yeah.
Is there any difference between that scene and what you would see in a Mad Max movie?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Oh God, Infinity, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that there's something about like the casting of Batman is like a really important thing, because like everyone knows it. Like everyone here knows it, that there's only certain people that have that sort of like outsider, odd, kind of weird, crazy person kind of thing. Like there's certain people that can play that. And like when I think about like Robert Pattinson, like I just think about like this guy looks like a GQ model, 6-pack, Twilight. Like I just don't picture this guy having that sort of like side to him, man. It's like he just doesn't have it for me, man. Like when they announced him, I was like, it's an interesting choice, but like I would not have picked this guy, man.
And you know what, Infinity, you know what I don't get is that people tried. Well, I get the how they jumped to it, but they tried to apply, oh, well, it's like Heath Ledger. People didn't think he would do good.
That's God. That's like 1 in a million, though, man. Jesus.
But you know what it is too. It's like when you see this portrayal from Robert Pattinson, right? As far left as it is, at least to me, I still think it's not going to be as good as Keaton. But I think I'm going to prefer it to Bale's Batman, to Clooney's Batman, to Val Kilmer's Batman. Bale had the better Bruce Wayne, but I still think I'm going to put him second to Michael Keaton, just by the mere fact of I didn't like those other Batmen so much.
So, just a quick question for you, Val. Do you make a distinction? And actually, this is for everybody. But do you guys make a distinction between what Bale did in Batman Begins versus the 2 sequels?
Yes, huge
yeah.
distinction.
Okay,
Huge
so-
distinction.
Okay, so is this Pattinson going to beat the Batman Begins Bale for you?
It won't beat the Batman Begins Bruce Wayne, but the Batman Begins Bale, the Batman, the Begins Batman, to me,
Mhm.
I think this will be more interesting.
Can I just say, okay, that's good. Okay, fine. Can I just say and just to pluck out one scene from Batman Begins, the shot where he's intimidating Flash by using the
Grappling hook. Yep.
Swear to me.
That one scene trumps everything that I've seen in this trailer.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that scene.
Okay, that's fine, but I'm just telling you how I feel. These are
Yeah.
my internal feelings.
I think too, like the part of it is like they're showing too much Batman. They're showing he's not even like the way that the lighting is. It's like they're showing too much.
But in Infinity, you're basically making a sort of a parallel. That is the parallel point to the point I made. Your depiction of Batman, there is no wall because he's just a guy running around. That's because the guy's in broad daylight. You look, he's smiling, he's shouting, he's punching glasses. You can see his emotions. He's happy, he's sad. He's like a dude. He's like, oh yeah, there's a Batman. Yeah. He's, I think he'll be in for lunch and he's be after. Yeah, that's it. It's incredible. Basically, what I've seen in this trailer is the most. Basically, what scares me, and this is my broader point, is that the world has. What we are dealing with is the fallout of Hollywood empowering Kathleen Kennedy's, empowering Kevin Feige's. By Hollywood empowering these people, what are they empowering? They are empowering people who are factory, who are conveyor belt producers, who empower yes men and yes women. And when you have that chain of command, so Hollywood studios, money, investors, Feige, Kennedy, these kind of people, they only empower yes men, people who are going to toe the line. You end up in a situation where what you don't have a world that understands De Palmas and Scorsese. Like Scorsese was saying a few years ago that the guy can Scorsese struggles to get a movie made these days. He struggles to get funding. That's how Boardwalk Empire came by. He said that Boardwalk Empire should have been a film. It became a show because he couldn't get a thing done. Because the world we're living in now is that it's funneling out talent, because talent are people. A talented director, Aronofsky, cannot be told what to do. A Russo can be told what to do. And that is what the studios want. But what you're seeing now, guys, this Batman is a direct result of that. Because Matt Reeves is a yes man. The Goon Gang are the supreme yes men, because they make you think, which is what J.J. Abrams did with Star Wars. They make you think they are auteurs and they are creative, but they are the ultimate studio hacks. And nothing like, guys, the movie we just saw, Reeves is running around telling everybody how deep and how is there anything you've seen in this that is truly dynamic? That is truly, whoa, that is left field for Batman, man. Whoa, what have you seen here? Oh, he's muddy. He's really angry. Maybe he says a swear word. What have you seen in this that is like actually moving Batman forward? Sorry.
I will say the Colin Farrell's the Penguin I thought was a nice little touch, but that's going to be in the movie for like 10 minutes.
The what penguin?
Colin Farrell's Penguin.
It's almost like the way his acting is almost like comic relief.
Yep.
Why does he sound like a mobster?
Well, he is a mobster. He's
Like
basically-
an Italian mobster.
Yeah, because he's meant to be what's his name? His right hand man, Falcone.
Falcone, yeah.
Yeah, Torturo. They're all Italian mobsters. So yeah.
But okay.
You know, look for me, it's like, you know, whatever, do what you got to do. But it's like, see, Paul Dano. You see, the cast. Oh God, it's all so connected. Who is Paul Dano? Paul Dano, just like the Goon Gang, he's that actor who's telling the whole world how deep and dynamic he is in every single film, but he's actually not. That's Paul Dano. In everything, he's overacting, he's sweating, he's screaming, he's pulsating, but he's not. He's actually not. And he's the perfect fit for that, for what these guys are doing, where they're selling you counterfeit goods. What you just watched was counterfeit goods. Because I watched a Batman trailer. You know that there is not a single box that Matt Reeves did not tick in that trailer. From the fighting, to the swooping, to the Batmobile, to the this, every single, which is exactly what Abrams did in Force Awakens. If you want tick box tickers, that's what these guys do. There is not a single thing you can want from a Batman film that was not in that trailer. That's the great trick of the Goon Gang. That's the great trick of the Goon. But when you stop and you think and you're like, okay, he's got that. And remember, this goes back to what I told you guys about a Frankensteinian abomination. You've now got a Batman who, look at what he looks like. He looks like nothing we've ever seen before. His suit makes no sense. The car he's driving is this something from the 60s? It makes no sense. Then you've got that thing he's got on his chest. That thing he's got on his chest is probably from the Kevin Smith comics, where he melts the gun that killed his parents, and he puts that as his emblem. Guys, let's think about that for a second. It might be a cool idea in the comic because it's a flipping comic. What sense does that make as a costume? If you want to have a costume that has an emblem, what sense does it make to have a melted? You don't have an emblem. It's not an emblem. It's a melted gun. Are you making a costume, or are you mad? Like, what are you wearing? The whole point of Batman, if Batman, look, basically, from the second you choose to have an emblem on your chest, it's meant to actually be what it's meant to be, which is an emblem. If you have something that you can hardly see because it's so contorted and it's full of metal and twisted stuff, then it's not an emblem. So psychologically, it makes no sense. If you're having the whole reason why he's got horns on his head is because you're making a costume. There's a psychology behind making a costume. It makes no sense if you have a costume. That doesn't make any sense. You've got a melted gun in your chest. And look at those horns. Look at his helmet. You see, and this is the abomination again. You're trying so hard to distinguish from Keaton's cow, from Bale's cow, from Kilmer's cow, from Affleck's cow. You've wound up with a cow that it looks like a soldier's helmet from World War II.
It does not look good, man. Like, the costume does not look good.
It's just horrific.
Come on, guys. It's year two. It's year two.
You see, there is where Matt Reeves tries to get clever. So, okay, Matt Reeves, why is your costume crap? Oh, because he's starting out? What? No, Matt. His costume is rubbish for a man that is starting out. Because even when he started, you're saying that the day he started out, he's crap at making costumes. because you can make a costume that is cheap, that looks good. This guy is bad at making costumes. So I don't know what it is you're talking about. It is a complete and total. That's what the great trickery of Matt Reeves is on full display in this trailer. And my God, did this guy pull out all the tricks?
I mean,
from the
they're trying to make the argument of saying like, oh well, a bad costume doesn't make a bad movie. But the thing is, like, most of the time that's fine. But like with Batman, it's different because you know how much a big part of Batman is his aesthetics, man, how he looks.
I'll tell you guys now that this Batman has failed. I said it before to Chosen One in our initial talk about a year or so ago that Matt Patterson cannot do. I do not believe he's going to do it, and I think you've got to dig up that video because I remember that my final word was that I think you Chosen was on the fence. My final word was that
I was never on the fence. No.
So what was your take on from that? Because that video is somewhere.
Bat Val was the one on the fence.
I'm still on the fence.
Okay, so basically we got to dig out that video to find out what all of our calls were. Because I think
you essentially said that Pattinson was going to act his brains out, do the best he can, do the most extreme, disturbed performance, which that's what we're getting. He's like, pedal
like
to the metal, angry in every single scene he is in. I mean,
and that is a problem. Everything he will do will not be good enough, and I believe that is what I said. That he's gonna act his ass off. He's gonna be so deep.
He's definitely putting effort in, yeah. But it's not gonna pass.
It's not gonna pass. And as Infinity said, you've got a director who doesn't understand how to depict Batman. So you've got a serious problem. Basically, when I'm watching this, I'm watching that Matt Reeves, you're obviously a very stupid guy. Because you obviously have no idea how to actually depict Batman.
If you had, because you're talking about the director depicting his performance, right, and handling his performance. So if you had to break it down from what you're seing here, because he's like the angriest Batman we've ever seen, like really like high screaming in every scene, intense adrenaline. How do you break down that performance? And then with the director that has that performance, where does something like that go? Is he going to burn himself out by the end of the film? Do you lose your handle on it and it goes off the tracks by, during the narrative? Like, how do you analyze a performance like what you're seeing from him?
What you're going to see, Babat, is what I told you guys a year ago. You're going to see a Frankenstein film. And you're right. Just by process of deduction, it's going to be the second best Batman after Keaton because everything else has been so bad. So just by default, it's going to be the second best because this is going to tick every box you've ever asked for.
Yeah, so and the energy of the performance.
Exactly. So people are going to be tricked into thinking it's good, and that's the great ruse of the Goon Gang, especially Matt Reeves, because he will do everything that people think they want. What people don't understand is what you want a ticked list. Or is what you want somebody who knows what to do with the list? But people haven't thought about that. They just want a ticked list. And when they get it, they think it's good. But what always happens with the Goon Gang product is that as time goes on, it fizzles into nothing. Like all those, who thinks of those Star Trek movies that Abrams made? Who thinks of the Star Wars movies that Abrams made? Who thinks of Star Trek Picard? When it comes out, it's all exploding, making big money, boom, boom, boom. A year, 2 years later, it's like nothing ever happened.
You know what's interesting? What's interesting too. Like you mentioned that he's lifting from other sources, right? And especially like Nolan, a lot of things that Nolan did. You remember the scene with Nolan where Batman is pummeling Joker across the table when he's captured? And he says something like, "Where's the trigger?" Something. He keeps pummeling him or something like that. Does this scene with the Riddler not seem the same? But here's the other question.
Yep.
Doesn't it seem that he's, at least to me, it seems across that it's the same scene, but it looks like it's better than what we got in the Nolan version. And maybe that's because Pattinson is a little bit more constrained than what Bale was. But I mean, it's the same, but it's a little bit better. And is that good enough at the end of the day?
You think it's better in this new trailer?
I think it's better because the Pattinson performance to me is more buyable in that moment where he slams the glass and says, "What have you done?" versus Bale in his over-the-top voice that was expressing the same moment, but it just wasn't as believable.
But I got to challenge you on that one because it's like it wasn't how the picture isn't how you're kind of painting it. What he did initially was he didn't it's like before he asked him what he did, what did Bale do in The Dark Knight? First,
Well, they had a conversation, right? And I'm sure they have a conversation in this before he slams the glass. But my point is, when he is punching the Joker and the Joker's on the ground,
right.
and he keeps repeating, "Where's the trigger? Punch. Where's the trigger? Punch. Where's the trigger? Punch." The way Bale's delivering that versus how Pattinson delivered this, even though it's very, very similar, I think this is just like a millimeter better.
I don't know.
I mean, I think that what you have with Pattinson is a mess. It's a mess. Like you're looking at a guy I'm looking at the Batman, and the guy, he is as all over the place as his costume and his car. Basically, he is, performance-wise, this dude is just as all over the place, as scattered as his costume, which makes no sense, and his car, which makes no sense. You're screaming, you're shouting, this looks like Twilight. It looks like he is in love with that woman.
You know what's funny too is that as we're going through some of these pictures of the trailer, like there are moments from what Chris Nolan did. There are moments that kind of remind you of what Burton did, and then like this moment reminds me of Val Kilmer in Batman Forever. Like there's literally a moment for every single interpretation of Batman that's ever been. If you go through the images, you can find a comparison for every one of those directors and every one of those movies.
Right.
So
Val,
here's the thing. They say that, okay, in art, nothing is original. I will never begrudge anybody for being inspired by something. The reason that I showed you those images is that for me, it is glaring. It's glaring. I'm like,
it's too on the nose, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, these shots, this is from Batman Begins.
You can just swap out Catwoman with Nicole Kidman. And it's the same scene.
The only thing missing is he needs to turn around and smile. That's the only thing missing.
And I'll go to the final shot where I think the Penguin thought that he had got Batman.
Yeah.
And the
yes.
Now,
you're right.
Compare that to the Batman Forever thing where they shot the little ember and they thought they burned him. And then he emerged from the flame. That was like 10 times better than, I mean, the look on their faces. And I know Batman Forever was cheesy, but the look on their faces when Batman came out of that flame underground, they were like, "How is this guy even human?" I did not get that from this. You know, it's like this is why I say it's. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have some very low expectations going into, and to be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna go to the theater for this.
Look,
but
chosen man, chosen.
I don't know.
But you're gonna watch it because the thing is, like, out of all the Batman films, this is not gonna be your worst Batman film. It can't be. By the nature of what it is, it can't be the absolute worst Batman film. If you rank them all.
But Babal, here's the problem I have is that while this will not be the worst, in a sense, it is actually the worst because this is the worst depiction of Batman I've ever seen.
But is this worse than, like, say, George Clooney?
Yes. Remember that George Clooney was a man. When you saw George Clooney as Batman, it was a man. It's Batman.
Okay, so then let's put that aside, right?
Okay.
Let me phrase it another way. Compared to maybe the other Batman, you're right. Maybe it's a departure, but the Joker was a departure, and I thought it was good. If you weren't a Batman fan and this wasn't a Batman film, what would you think about this film just as a movie?
I would say, why is this guy running around in this costume? Because remember, Batval, when you make a Batman trailer, the first time you see Batman, the audience should be like, what the, like, is that a demon? Is that a bat? Is that, that is the audience, if you don't know anything about Batman, the first time you see Batman, a lay person should get it that, okay,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, okay, he dresses like this because he's trying to create an effect. That is what the lay person should be able to grab from the first time you see it. If a lay person is watching it, they're watching a trailer that's obviously well made, it's got a lot of action, and it's got this dude who's dressed odd. Why is he dressed like that?
I mean, the thing is though, like, you know, a lot before this came out, right? A lot of people would say we want to see these elements in a Batman film. We want to see a recluse Batman. We want to see, you know, this, and that. And the tricky part for me is you have elements in here that were not quite in other iterations. So when you say like a recluse Batman, this kind of looks like the most reclusive Batman that we've seen, you know, just from the image of what the image is painting, right? And then when you talk about
so far against Romans, we read on Tony and Adam.
Sorry. Have
Oh,
you got
God, oh, for goodness sake.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Batman.
so when I look at it, is it a Frankenstein product? Yes, right? But as a Burton Batman fan, I can't say I was satisfied with any of the other Batman movies aside from what Tim Burton did. So when I see this and I look at it and I say, okay, you know, kind of just the sensibility, the vibe, the kineticness of Pattinson, you know, acting his brains out. Is it going to be better than Keaton? No. Is it going to be better than Bale? For me, hands down. Is it going to be better than Val Kilmer or George Clooney? Hands down.
Wait, real quick. Real quick. As far as see, Bavo, see, I don't get as a Batman guy how Batman Begins did not satisfy you on that.
I'll tell you why.
No, it did not. It did not. It did not.
I'll tell you why.
Okay, wait.
I'm a-
okay, so
I'm a-
wait. Okay, while you're talking, have hope. I want you to look at what I'm going to share on the screen. Okay. All right. Shoot. Go. I'll just share
Okay.
while you're talking.
So you asked, how did Batman Begins not do it for me, right?
I just feel like that final scene where he's on the rooftop with Gordon and they're talking about escalation and the music. I mean, that.
So here's why. The biggest accomplishment that Batman Begins for me had, that it did, the best scene, is the dinner party scene where Ra's al Ghul talks to Bruce Wayne, right?
Yeah.
And Bruce Wayne pretends that he's drunk to save all the people at the dinner party, right?
Yeah.
And all the people are like, what an a-hole this guy is, right? But you know he's Batman. So up until that point, we had never seen that, right? The whole thing of he's Bruce Wayne, but that's a facade, and he's actually Batman, and we hadn't seen Bruce Wayne handled to that degree. That to me was the biggest accomplishment of Batman Begins. But when I look at Batman in Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, but even Batman Begins, it doesn't do it for me, and for a couple of reasons. Batman Returns to me is the best one out of all of them, right? I don't believe you should run around from you should run away from the comic book elements. I don't believe you should run away from the fantasy elements. I don't believe you should put this guy in a real world setting, because all the films that have put him in a real world setting, they always run into the same problem, which is when you ground the whole thing, it stops working. The whole machine stops working how it's supposed to work.
Did it work?
Suspension of disbelief.
Well, hold on. Wait. How about 1 second, Have Hope, because I want to get Infinity's Limit in here.
Have hope. Are you looking at this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna forfeit. Go ahead, Infinities. Do you have anything to say before we go to Have Hope?
I just want to say that the scene in the trailer when they're showing the Batmobile coming out of the fire, like, if that was an actual, like, real Batmobile, like a serious Batmobile, that scene would have been way better. But the fact that it was a regular car, I was just watching that and, like, it just sucked all, like, the drama out of the scene, man. I'm like, Batman can't be driving that thing for the rest of the movie, man.
But that's the thing. You're approaching it from a Batman perspective, right? If you're watching Mad Max and he does that with his car, do you suspend your disbelief, or do you have the same issue?
But Batval, you said you gotta. Well, let me just make sure I understand what you're saying. We're saying when you're introducing that real world element, aren't they doing that here with this car?
Here's why it's different to me, right?
You can't do both, man. That's the thing.
But here's the thing. Chris Nolan introduced the whole real world element type of thing, muted colors, this brown golden type of color filtering, right? This whole thing. I didn't like it. It was boring. It was boring. But when you look at it, the only thing that sets this one apart from, let's say, what Chris Nolan did, is the performance from Pattinson. It sets it apart for me. It does. It really does, because it's so off the rails and unhinged and different that I almost say, okay, this is not a Batman film. I can't judge it as a Batman fan. This is a movie I'm going to see. Whereas with Nolan, I got the sense of, this is a guy telling me this is the best that this material can be handled, almost talking down to like to the material. And I'd rather not have that, and I'd rather have this.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Okay, on that we agree. Nolan should not be instructing anyone on how Batman should be. But
did you get that sense from the Chris Nolan movies? Like I'm elevating this material to like, you know, cinematic heights that's never been done, but at the same time you're stripping the character of everything that works.
I get that he tried to do that in the first film. I get that was his intent, if that makes sense.
Nolan is a fraud. He's a fraud.
Welcome, have hope to the stream. Do you have anything you
No, because see, I'm tired. No. Okay, let's keep it real right now, because yes, I still suffer from Dark Knight's PTSD. I still suffer from that. And just to keep it clear,
we should have a group. I'm dealing with those nightmares.
Oh no, bro. See, Rises is a piece of crap film. That film is garbage. And here's the thing, because let's be clear here, Nolan doesn't understand Batman. Nolan doesn't like Batman. Let me repeat that one last time. Christopher Nolan does not like the Batman character. That's why in his very last film, there was that freaking Acme-style bomb where he nuked himself and then he retires. You know that Batman was Batman for maybe 2 years? It was maybe Batman for 2 years in Nolan's film.
That's Hugo Boss Batman. Hugo Boss.
Okay. So let's look at this trailer. See, the thing about this is that talent alone isn't enough. You need talent, yes, and who are you as a guy?
Yes.
Just when we sit you down in a restaurant and so forth, and we just have a conversation. No, nothing to do with the film. Who are you as a guy? Tim Burton is Batman because Tim Burton as a guy, as a man that has nothing to do with film, him as a character, as a human being, he understands what Batman is. Hence why he is the only director that appreciated and understood Batman more than any director in history. When you look at Matt Reeves, because I look at the Ape trilogy that he did, Matt Reeves is very talented. He's a talented filmmaker. And when you look at those films, they are very well-made films. When you look at this trailer, it's a well-made trailer. But beyond that, who are you? Who are you? Because when you watch the Apes trilogy, yeah, it's all good. There's no soul. There's no character. When you look at this trailer, it looks good and everything, there's no soul. There's no character. There's no personality. And what Matt Reeves needs to understand is, I don't give a damn what explanation you have. You cannot have a Batman film with that suit. I'm sorry. You cannot, under any circumstance, have a Batman film.
Look at his helmet. Look at his helmet.
It's stupid.
His helmet is like that is like
people say, it doesn't
That's
matter
a rough
what
image, man.
explanation you have.
But as rough as the image is, Pattinson's doing okay. The image, the suit is horrible. But
see, Battle, I'm on this whole new wave. It's called #honesty. That's my new wave right now. So my new hashtag is called #honesty. I have no time for maybe no. Pattinson is a good actor. When you hire Pattinson, you have to use everything to help him. This suit is not helping him. Because
it's to his detriment.
Because wait, do you know what I've always said about Batman? I would, because what's his Batman? You're a ninja, stealth. He'd be all black. So his entire face would be black.
You're talking about the mouthpiece.
Yeah, the mouthpiece. He'd paint his entire face black.
Yeah.
So he's trying to be stealthy. He's trying to blend in. So my thing though is, when you look at that trailer, Matt Reeves needs to understand that when you have a suit like that, it becomes very problematic. Because as you're watching it, you're like, wait, what is going on here? It's similar to Dark Knight Rises, where that clown, Nolan, had ridges in this guy's suit.
Have hope. And I told everybody, the reason why his suit looks like this is because he's trying to distinguish it from everybody else, which is why I told all of you years ago, you're going to get Frankenstein, because the car is trying to distinguish itself. The guy is trying to distinguish himself. The suit is trying to distinguish itself. Everything is trying to distinguish itself, so it ends up being a bizarre abstraction of what Batman is. And that line that Andy Serkis goes, oh, if you keep this up, you'll lose everything. I think this guy's also ripping off. I think half of you've actually missed a lot of what I said about this guy being a rip-off. This guy, he's ripping off. There's an idea Aronofsky had for his script where Batman loses his fortune and has to go into a home, and eventually he regains. I think this guy is ripping off that as well. Listen, man, Matt Reeves. This guy ain't no. This guy's. He's not able. I said, usually in gangs, is the second in command that is usually the worst. So in the whole goon gang, this guy's the worst.
POH, you said, he's trying to distinguish everything design-wise, right? You know what the brilliance of, because this came out the same time that the little teaser came out for the Flash movie with Keaton's Batman. You know the brilliance of the design that Tim Burton did is that car is under a silhouette cover, and you still recognize it.
Yes.
Think about a design that's so recognizable that even when it's covered, you can recognize it.
It's like, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. I think Infinity even mentioned it.
I was telling you this the other day.
Wait. Batman is in a car? So he's just in a regular car that you enter, you see, and I think it's what PH was saying. Yes, you want to be different. Certain things have to stay the same. Because you're trying to be so different, you've created the worst bat suit that I think has ever been seen on film.
Oh, it is the worst. I'd say it's the worst one they had.
Okay, it's the worst. I mean, Riders was pretty bad, but yeah, this is probably the worst. And you have a Batmobile so he doesn't even have a Batmobile. He just has a regular car because you know what? Yeah, we're trying to make it real.
No, and the main point that I made to everybody, I know that you were here when I made the point half up, is that you're watching a film where this is the worst depiction of Batman I've ever seen in my life. Because when you see Batman, you don't feel anything. You don't feel intimidation. You don't feel fear. You don't feel respect.
There's no drama. There's no aura.
You feel nothing. So this guy, on a very fundamental level, perhaps worse than any director in history, this guy has actually missed the ball. Because he's actually forgotten to tell us. Because if there was anybody that didn't know Batman and saw this trailer, they'd be trying to work out why am I watching a crime film with some dude in a Halloween costume? Because Matt Reeves has not even explained to the audience what Batman is in this trailer. He's just there. He hasn't said, he hasn't visually, narratively introduced the Batman. He's just some dude smashing windows, screaming, shouting, running around in this silly costume. This is the most ridiculous, daft, rubbish conception I've ever seen of Batman in my life. But because he's so tricky and because he'll tick every box, all the idiots out there will think it's good. And he's also telling you that because it looks so different, it's very intelligent, it's very sophisticated. So when you like it, it means you're somebody who's able to appreciate different things. That's what Matt Reeves is trying to tell us. That for you to like it means that you're very sophisticated, because this is a different dynamic, new take. Even though this is actually the most formulaic Batman I think we've ever seen. This is the most formulaic Batman we have ever seen because every single box has been ticked.
No, I think this. Yeah, look, I think it's funny. The further along we go, the more it's reinforced that it's Tim Burton and Michael Keaton. Because I always thought that, when Bale comes in, Tim Burton and Keaton will just be like a childhood thing. But even after Begins, Dark Knight Rises, I was like, oh, wow. So Batman.
Batval made the point. You know that this is how I know that this is real, because Batval said something that I hadn't even articulated myself. That's when I just heard that voice, and remember that when the camera goes to the inside of Wayne Manor and you see that staircase where he was, making out with Vicky Vale.
Yeah.
And they start playing a bit of the music from
Yeah.
89.
Yeah.
And I felt quite emotional. I did.
Oh, no. But let's say, do you know how funny that trailer is? You know how irresponsible that is? You know that
Exactly. It's a Flash trailer. That's when we Flash.
He made a Batman. That's a Batman trailer.
It's incredible. You've made a Flash. Half hope.
He has to know. He has to know.
Half hope. How can the end of your Flash teaser be? Ooh, we almost saw the Batmobile.
It shows you how messed up, because you know what that shows you, that guy knows that, look, I really like this film and I'm a fan, and I'm just gonna do this. Whether you accept it or not.
AJ, you know what it was? It was he probably wanted to make a Batman movie, and they're like, "No, you can't do it." He's like, "Can I use Batman in my movie? I'll make a
Exactly.
Flash
That's what I'm
movie.
saying.
I'll just put
That's
Batman
what I'm
in it."
saying. He knew. He has to know.
No. But I think it's very bad that trailer. It wasn't even a trailer. It was just like a teaser thingy, because
Oh
when you
God.
hear that voice, there's nothing Matt Reeves or there's nothing you can do. You can
Listen,
play all the
man.
music and everything you want.
I got more emotion
It's in
from
his
watching
Batman.
that trailer than probably any
Oh.
trailer this year.
I've seen that trailer about 20 times. Like,
That 1
That's
minute of
Batman.
voiceover is better than this whole movie.
Very true. Very
once
true.
you just see the voiceover and you just see the cow, and people, they know. People talk blah blah. They know. they know it's him.
When I saw that Batmobile, man, something. Oh my God, man, I was so happy when I saw that Batmobile.
Man,
I never
You
would.
see-
I never would have. I haven't felt that way since I was a kid, man.
no. In fact, it's because see, it goes back to the point I was making. There's talents, and then there's who are you. See, that is the theme of this. Is who are you as a man? Talent alone won't make it deliver what needs to be delivered. That's why if Aronofsky did Batman, you'd see the kind of Batman that he would do. Because Aronofsky is talented, but he's also a very interesting guy. Matt Reeves is not an interesting guy. Chris Nolan is not an interesting guy. Nolan, Reeves, these are just very boring people. Tim Burton is an interesting guy. That's why he made that Batman, because Tim Burton, he took it personally. Because he's like, no, Batman is me. I know what Batman is. So, but one thing, but actually, now I'm going to ask you guys this, man.
Guys, please look at this. Please look at this. Guys, this is
Awesome. His favorite word.
This is where we have reached in 2020.
That means a lot to me.
It means a lot.
From Zack Snyder.
No, wrong. Thanks so much, man. These are two professional, multi-million-dollar directors. Wow, thanks, man. Can you imagine?
Can I ask you guys this, man? Penguin. Now, first off, amazing prosthetics and amazing makeup. But here's the thing, though: is Colin Farrell such an amazing actor that you would cast him and do those level of prosthetics to make him look like that?
No.
Because also, a Stephen Root exists. There are many actors who already look bally, who probably give you a better, more authentic performance than taking Colin Farrell and having to do. Because I would understand if it was Gary Oldman or Daniel Day-Lewis, where they're so good, we want to put. Oh, why did you go through all that trouble with Colin Farrell? Just say, hey, look, we can make Colin Farrell look like that.
Can I? What do you guys feel about the person that's playing Alfred in this film being Penguin?
Oh boy.
Wait, what do you mean? In what sense?
I mean, you're talking about the Penguin, right? I mean,
Yeah.
for me, dream casting is Bob Haskins, rest in peace. But I'm looking at Andy Serkis, and I'm like, why wasn't he the Penguin? Why is he Alfred? I don't get that personally. I just never would have done that.
He's so young.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's because it's true.
Are
Because
you
you're
okay with that, Have Hope? Though, are you okay with him as Alfred?
It doesn't really bother me because I don't know what your vision is. Because I've not read the scripts. I don't know whether he says, I've seen Andy Serkis in this film. And this is the kind of dynamic I want with my Batman and Alfred. And I think that Andy Serkis brings this kind of energy that I want in an Alfred with scenes with Batman. Because I'm sure that I've done readings with Pattinson and him and say, oh, I like this energy. So it's all down to the director and what that script is. Because Andy Serkis is a good actor. The guy is a good actor. So it's all down to what's the vision of the guy.
There is a possible world in which Andy Serkis is a very good Alfred. Of course, that world exists. But the point is that the man, it all comes down to Matt Reeves. Look at Matt. Okay, take a Google Matt Reeves and just look at Matt Reeves. Google Chris Nolan. Look at Chris Nolan. Who thinks that these people that look like that and dress like that and behave like that are going to give you Batman?
But then, PH, what was I said? I told you, who are you? That is the theme. Is because Nolan is extremely talented, but he's a boring man. And this is my fear of when we now see Dune. Yes, I've got my tickets for Dune Thursday, 2 p.m. IMAX.
Oh yeah, Friday, baby.
Is who are you? Because your persona, James Cameron, of course he's talented. Sit down and talk to James Cameron. You'll have a very interesting conversation. Sit down and talk with Nolan. You'll be bored out of your face. He's got nothing interesting to say.
This guy, what's his name? Matt Reeves, right? Every time he gives an interview, I like come back awake 20 minutes later, like what was he just saying? Like I can't keep hold of what he is saying, like at all.
Basically, go and watch, because I own the special edition of Batman and Batman Returns, and I always watch the special features. Listen to Tim Burton talk. That's a very particular kind of a guy. And
he's an artist,
Tim
man.
Burton put his personality into Batman, where no, Batman is an outsider. Batman is this and that. Do you think do you think they care about Batman? No, they just want to. They are from film school. These guys are from film school. Tim Burton was kicked out of Disney, and so forth. And Batman is an outsider. Wait,
Is that actually Dennis Villeneuve?
That's why I call him Monsieur Denis.
That's an old video.
Wait, he's on the desert?
This is when this guy was like 12 years old. Well, look at his head.
Jesus.
Is he wearing a Jedi robe? Where is this?
Look at his head. That's and listen to his voice. That's why I call him Monsieur Denis.
No, but guys, just on a side note, have you listened to the states of what Hans Zimmer has been doing for that Dune soundtrack?
I don't want to hear it yet because I want to experience it in the movies.
Infinity, don't listen to that down.
Yeah.
Go to that cinema. It's just that I've met myself off because I've been listening to. Just that I've actually stopped myself from listening to it until I watched the thing on Thursday. Because
basically, I told half up. The thing about Dune for me is that, and I think we discussed this, Chose and I or some in the chat we had that there are visuals I've seen for Dune, and I've said it before that. See, you say, "Oh, Matt Reeves is talented." Matt Reeves is not talented. Denis Villeneuve, that is a guy that is talented. That is talent. Reeves is a guy that he goes through processes. He's gone to film school. He knows color correction. He knows stuff, and he just does it. Yeah, and he does it more efficiently.
Yeah, it's very workmanlike.
Exactly, more interestingly than J.J. Abrams. There are visuals I have seen for Dune that are the best visuals I've ever seen in any film. These are some of the best. The way he structured the shots, the angles he has chosen. This is the best stuff I've ever seen. And when you see how he's using CG, this is some of the best use of CG I've ever seen. Now, as Havok says, everybody says, when it comes to the actual film, he may fall flat because that comes down to the man himself. And Monsieur Denis is not a very, he's not the deepest, most sophisticated guy, and you can see that in Blade Runner, you see that in Sicario.
You know what, though? In today's climate, I will take him all day, man.
Exactly.
I was saying so far that because Zimmer was supposed to do Tenet, the soundtrack. So basically, in my world, this is what happens. So Nolan said, Hans, genre, would you like to do Tenet? And Hans says, fuck you, fuck off, because I'm going to go to this bloody desert and Dune. And ever since then, you know that he's already picked Ludwig Göransson to do his Oppenheimer thing. So basically, that Zimmer Nolan thing has finished because Zimmer knows that, no, look, I'm sticking with this dude. Because this dude actually knows how to use my music. Because my music deserves certain visuals and certain artistry that Nolan does not have.
Oh, so Nolan is now sulking. Okay, because he felt that Zimmer owed, just like Warner Brothers apparently owe him something. So Warner Brothers are not allowed to do what Warner Brothers want to do with their own catalog of films. So he also thinks Hans Zimmer owes him something. So since Hans Zimmer has done Dune, he's now with Ludwig Göransson. Oh, I see. Right.
No, because he's Chris Nolan. He's the guy who created the greatest superhero movie of all time. Basically, we created, well, not we, but we in the philosophical sense of the word, we created this monster. All you morons who overrated that film, Dark Knight, made this guy the arrogant, big-headed guy that he thinks he is. Yeah. Where you think, wait, do you know what Dune is? Do you think Hans Zimmer is going to give up the chance of... Do you know that Hans Zimmer has made 3 soundtracks for this
film? Have hope.
3 soundtracks.
Have hope. Forget about Dune. Nolan, do you know who Hans Zimmer is? Like, are you aware of what Hans Zimmer was doing in the 80s before you even had a brain in your head? And you think because you made Dark Knight that you now have an issue that he... I mean, and same as Warner Brothers, and you think, who the heck, you're going to tell Warner Brothers where to and how to release their films?
Yeah, no,
I mean, listen, that guy is... I told you, I've never liked Nolan, and now the guy, he's exposing what the kind of guy he is. The guy is exposing the kind of guy he is. And I'm telling you, that guy, Nolan, that guy is going down. I've been telling you guys for years, that guy is going down. That guy's going, even if he now tries to do all this, or trying to be more, that guy is going down. Because there is something wrong with the man himself. Forget about professionally. There's something wrong with that guy's brain. The arrogance, man. You have issues with Warner Brothers Studio?
Wait. So basically, this is where Hans Zimmer explains basically why he did it. He said that. So this is Hans Zimmer said, I have to do it, and Chris understands I have to do it, and he's going to be just fine. Ludwig were friends, but forget the friend part. He's really good. He's really good. So basically, Zimmer said, look, take this guy. He's fine. He's good. Because Zimmer, I think this might be Zimmer's best work. Ooh. If you listen to this soundtrack, like Gladiator is still for me number 1.
Don't get me too excited, man.
Could arguably be his best work in terms of the scope and what he's doing, you know.
Oh, I'm gonna have to find a good theater with some good sound.
No, like, bro, you have to, like, I told you, IMAX Thursday 2 p.m. Boom, tickets bought. Boom, I'm there.
2 p.m.
Do you know that everything's booked up?
Clever. No. Because for me, you know that now these days I watch movies in the afternoon. Because it's the best chance I have of having the whole place to myself.
No. Have you tried to book IMAX tickets? Everything is booked up. A 3 a.m. showing, 3:30 a.m. is pretty much booked up. Woo. So basically, this 2 p.m. showing I have, I am literally the only seat in the middle is the only one that I have. Everything else in the middle is all booked up. So I literally picked the only seat available in the middle. So, but look, I mean, comic book movie fatigue. I thought this thing would settle in, man. I mean, look at what's Black Adam, Flash, what's Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Home Sweet Home.
No, actually, you know what? I bet you that at some point there's going to be Home Sweet Home. We can actually laugh. Have
you heard of the stuff that has gone down in Venom? Some of the stuff I've heard that hasn't happened with Venom, man. Oh my lord!
I'm actually too scared to watch it.
No, I'm not.
I saw the ending earlier. It's on YouTube. Somebody had it on YouTube. The ending.
I am not watching that.
I'll just say that I'm glad I didn't watch that movie.
No way.
Jeez, man. I'm like,
but yeah, that's the state of where you've made Venom into a clown. Venom, a guy who I rank as my favorite comic book villain, of all time. You made him a
Didn't
clown.
Venom and Spider-Man
A
team
guy-
up to fight Carnage? Wasn't that the
Yeah.
whole point?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're talking about a character that his archetype is a big bully.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're talking about
And
you've
no, no,
made
no.
him the nerd and the clown.
No, seriously, Batfall. I wish I could find it. There's a video where Todd McFarlane, the creator, explains why he created Venom.
And
And he
I
created
think
him to be a bully.
one of the things that McFarlane said, which is genius, is that they when he was thinking about creating a villain for Spider-Man, they decided to give the guy Olympic level bodybuilding strength, right? And he says, why did I give him Olympic level bodybuilding strength? Because I figured if he was already strong before he got the symbiote, and Peter Parker was a nerd before he got the symbiote, then in comparison, he would be a formidable force.
Mm.
I mean, how do you take a character that's created in that way with that logic, and then you give us the movie with him portrayed how he's portrayed? Like,
Question for you, because it's, to me, how I interpreted it is that the symbiote amplifies your current.
Yep. That's what he said. It amplifies what your strength is already. So we thought if this guy's already Olympic level bodybuilder, then and the symbiote's amplifying his strength versus amplifying the strength of a nerd like Peter Parker, it would be formidable.
Okay, but was the symbiote amplifying his already Spider-Man strength?
What do you mean his already Spider-Man strength? You
He
mean
was-
for Spider-Man? You mean for Spider-Man for
Correct.
Tobey
Correct.
Maguire?
Yeah, no, well, Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Let's not put Toby. Let's not. Yeah, Peter Parker, the character in the comic book.
I mean, they made some kind of argument that the symbiote had a better relationship with Eddie Brock and found a better host
Yeah, because chosen the thing is
to
that,
maximize it,
yeah, basically chosen your
because they were joined by their hatred of Spider-Man.
Yeah, because if the symbiote ever took control of Peter Parker, then that would be stronger than a symbiote.
Yeah, essentially they never fully fused with Peter Parker.
Yeah, exactly, because Peter Parker has Spider-Man powers. So if he had a symbiote and Eddie Brock, a regular bodybuilder, had a symbiote, Spider-Man would destroy. By that, logic would destroy Eddie Brock because he's Spider-Man with a symbiote.
Correct.
You know?
That was my question. Yeah.
And the even bigger genius is to show that full compatibility between the host and the symbiote. They refer to themselves as we,
Yes.
which is even more brilliant.
Yeah. No. I mean, look. I think in terms of what we're talking about with I think I would say coming to Batman, what we have in the world, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is that this is a categorical result of Hollywood trying to fizzle out Cameron's, Aronofsky's, Ridley Scott's, Scorsese's, people of talent. Hollywood making a concerted effort to get rid of these guys and bring in conveyor belt yes men to have a more streamlined situation where they're pumping out factory billion-dollar films. That's what Hollywood has tried to do over the last decade or whatever you could, and they have empowered Kathleen Kennedy, empowered Kevin Feige to do that, and they've been successful. But what do you now have as a result of that? You have this Batman that we're seeing today, which is for me, that I've seen this trailer once. I saw it once last night, and the second I saw it, it just clicked. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I said, this is a pile of crap. Like, I'm watching a Batman trailer and I'm not aware Batman is in it. I'm not actually, I haven't been forced to be made aware that Batman is in this. I just know, oh yeah, that's Batman, by the way. So if anybody who had never heard of Batman before saw this trailer, they would not be aware that Batman is in it,
But let me ask you this question, because you say you're not aware Batman's in it, right? But in terms of the age, when Michael Keaton Batman came on the scene, there was an agency, right? When Christian Bale came on the scene as Batman, there was a certain type of impression until he started opening his mouth and delivering, lines of exposition. So when you look at this Batman, there is a little bit more of an agency. Like when the Penguin's like easy, sweetheart, and he's like this powder keg, like you do get the sense of he's out of control, right?
Yeah, okay, but what I'm saying is that if you're a guy that knows nothing about Batman and you're watching this trailer, has this trailer started by talking about the bat, showing him, establishing his silhouette, or establishing what he means, establishing why the guy has got horns on his head? Betty, this trailer presumes you already know that.
Yeah, there we
there's
go.
a
That's
guy
the key
called
word. Yes,
Bat-
it's
Batman,
assumed.
and you just know that okay, that guy's Batman. This trailer has not actually established Pattinson's persona as an entity called Batman in this universe.
Do you think that's a negative, or you could start there?
But Bafal, it's like a perfect example is, and I'm still waiting for this film. Watch the Batman Begins teaser. You know that we never saw the film of that teaser because it wasn't Batman Begins. Watch the Batman Begins teaser. That's a Batman. And you see, the film to that teaser is the best Batman film. We just never got it.
But I mean,
that teaser is Batman.
well, because HH, you're a Burton guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to see if you maybe see it from where I'm seeing it from. Do you think this will be worse than what Chris Nolan did?
Okay, guys.
Well, again, you got to specify.
guys,
Okay, I mean,
tricky.
It's tricky, but like I can't see it as anything but second to what Burton did.
Oh no. Oh, you said the question. Do you think this will be better than what Nolan did, or worse than what Nolan did?
That and essentially where it would rank across all the Batman movies. To me, it comes in second after Batman '89 and Batman Returns.
You see, my thing is
just by the nature
guys.
of what
Okay, guys, look at this. Okay, now remember Batman, and here's my point. This is for a film that we already know. This is part 3, so
Right.
This isn't even really the Inception. But it doesn't matter. But this is a new guy, and his name is Val Kilmer. It's not Keaton. When you're making these kind of promotional material, you have to establish something. Observe. Observe.
At least that's a Batmobile, man.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to explain to people is that at the end of
Oh,
the day,
see, I wish.
The camera looks good
I
in that
remember
costume,
this is
man.
the thing that
Yeah,
I
he
get
does
that-
look good.
Exactly.
That was-
I wish. Wait, hold on. I wish you could just hold. Wait, can you put up that image again? Can you put up that? Can you share that screen? Can you just share that screen again?
You gotta put it side by side,
No,
man.
but because I want to just show this image. Basically, I want to have coffee with Matt Reeves. Coffee. Preferably not with a question mark, but I want to have coffee with Matt Reeves.
And I called that, by the way, when they were going over the coffee cup.
Oh, no, but it was obvious. Look,
I knew that question mark was
I'll say
going
no. Wait.
oh my god! You know what? I completely forgot about that. Oh,
the cappuccino.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I
I'll
knew.
say that. Look. See, Matthew. Can you just look at this and explain what your suit is? Just look at this. And this is for this dirty whatever. Look at this and please explain to me. Because see, Matt, you have to. You see, somebody has to ask him, and nobody's going to ask him. Someone say, Matthew, what the bloody hell was going on with you making that suit?
But he explained it. He said it's year 2.
Oh, chosen one, man.
Wait, you know how the design of the suit is busy and everything about the movie is pretty busy. I have an image where he's pressing down the gas pedal to the back car, whatever it is, and even that's busy. It looks like the inside of like a starship.
Wait,
Dude,
you
just
have
the way
that?
that they show like little by
Look at-
little,
look
little
at
by
that.
little.
I would
Oh,
imagine this is like Darth Vader or something.
yeah. I mean,
Where's the pedal?
mm.
Look, you see, that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys about the suits and everything. Like I think the Merc said he said he liked the suit. The first second I saw the suit, that this thing is a mess, and the only reason it's a mess is because you've got a man who's trying to distinguish himself from everything else. Once that is your jump-off point, you're in trouble, and that's why you've landed where you are. Now you've got a situation where it's like, but the most bizarre thing for me is that I'm watching a Batman movie that the director has forgotten to establish the characterization of his Batman in the trailer. He's just there. He just pops up like, oh, he's like just a dude.
There's no build up, man.
There's no. So basically, if you're a person that knows nothing about Batman, you're watching a movie and you don't understand why have I got, because this guy, he is not scary. He's not intimidating. Why is this man dressed like this?
One question. So did they establish that sort of build-up that Infinity's alluded to, which is what I think you're speaking to? Did they do that in the last trailer?
Sorry, which trailer?
The trailer before this, the one that Batval and you and me had a discussion on.
Oh, in the last teaser trailer.
Yeah.
I barely remember it, but I think there was more of a build-up to it.
There was more of a build-up, yes.
So
I mean,
is what you're talking about necessary for a trailer too?
It doesn't mean it's not in the film.
No. Is that necessary for trailer 2? Yes.
It is necessary.
Because remember that promotional material, and remember, this is the main trailer. Of course it's important, because promotional material works as it's a collective. You're basically doing the same thing every time. You're basically hammering home the same point every time with a slightly different twist. So any trailer you see, if it's Attack of the Clones, in Attack of the Clones, they're going to establish Anakin in the teaser. They're going to establish him again in the main trailer. If you're going to watch Neo, Matrix, they'll establish him in the teaser. They'll establish him again in the main trailer. If you're going to watch Batman Begins, establish him in the teaser, establish him again, because you're not doing the audience. There might be people who have not seen the damn teaser. This is like you're a salesperson. When you see any salesman has the same pitch. It might be a bit longer, a bit shorter, but they have the same pitch. It's the same story they're telling you, and it's the same build-up, because you're selling a product. This one, you're selling Batman. For every TV spot, for every trailer, for every whatever you call it, you're selling Batman. I'm watching a main trailer where, and let's even talk about the whatever you call it, that first teaser. The reason why I'll say okay, because you don't expect that much from the teaser. But if I'm going to be honest with you, in fact, I did say it. The presentation of Batman in that was trash. Because I think I did say this, that the guy just walks up. Like if you've got Jeffrey Wright saying stuff, and the guy he's just there in the room. He's just like walks up.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck is this? What the heck is this? So that was rubbish. But you know what? You say, okay, let's chill and let's, obviously they're gonna come big time in the main trailer. That was my thinking. That okay,
that's what we all thought. Yeah, exactly.
You think, okay, this is rubbish. This is just very, it looks like something from the DC network TV show. That's the joke we cracked. But okay, this is the main thing. Okay, the first time we're gonna see Batman in this, there's gonna be okay. I just thought, okay, we've got a dynasty now. There's gonna be some kind of crime, and this guy's gonna arrive and destroy guys, and you're gonna see his wings and everything. That's just what I thought. I didn't think I was just going to be watching like this could be the next episode, the next TV show episode for the Flash next week. You just got the guy running about. This could be like this movie plays like it could be the second episode of a series. I mean, look at this image we're looking at now. Look at the guy's shoulder pad. The guy's too skinny. Look at the guy's neck. Look at his neck. Look at
he didn't work out, man. He didn't work out.
The guy's too skinny. The guy's look at the guy's cow, man.
Yeah, he's not. Again, it's about like the way when you look at him, there's no intimidation. Like when he's looking, when Selena Kyle's in his face in that on the rooftop, I don't know.
It looks like he's in love with her.
It's like, wait, what is this, man? I don't know. I don't know, man.
Chosen, I do know, and I'm saying be in. This is good. You know what's going to happen.
I do know. We do. What do you mean you don't know? We all know.
No, that's why I feel like I don't know what they're going for.
Guys, this movie is going to start big and then it's going to drop. This movie is going to start big and it's going to drop. Because this thing is counterfeit goods. It's counterfeit goods. The only guys that are going to keep going back to watch it are Batman fans.
So, quick question, because I know that this was one of the talking points way back. Do you think this will bring in the Twilight people?
Yes.
No, of course.
Yes.
Wow.
Of course.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I think it will.
This will make money. I mean, this.
Will it bring in the Twilight people? I think it won't, because the Twilight people have all grown up. They've all got kids now. You know, they haven't got time to go to the cinema and be fangirls. so maybe had you brought this movie out about 10 years ago, perhaps now they have families, they're grown women. They don't go to the cinema.
Is any, like, if you had to ask the question, is anybody here interested in an element of the movie, and what's that element from what you've seen?
The fighting.
I'll answer that. The fighting is cheesy. The fighting, you see, I know all these tricks. That your fighting is not interesting. It's a gimmick that you're going to do to try to distinguish yourself from everybody else. The problem, the issue I have with this film is that there is nothing here that I don't know what's going to happen. As I say, Paul Dano he's the perfect guy for the Goon Gang, because he's a guy who he pretends as if he's very deep and amazing, but he's not. He just pulsates a lot, breathes heavily, and sweats a lot in all of his performances. So he's going to give you a very cheesy, on the nose, boring. Oh, he's so dangerous. What a psycho dribbler. Basically, Paul Dano is J.J. Abrams. He's the Goon Gang's Marlon Brando, basically, because he fits so perfectly. What he is as an actor is what the Goon Gang are as directors. So it's all counterfeit.
Do you think that because I agree with you 100% when it comes to Paul Dano, but when you look at Batman, do you feel it's accurate to say that the trilogy we just finished with Nolan, we got a lot of Bruce Wayne and very little Batman, and this is going to be very little Bruce Wayne and a lot of Batman?
I'd say yeah, and this for me, first of all, I say yes. Secondly, I say, who cares? It's like all this is going to be. He's going to try to distinguish. Oh, my Batman is the one where he fights a lot. My Batman is the one where he's going to do this. My Batman is one. That's what he's going to spend the whole film doing. And so they've wound up in exactly the same place as Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man wound up in, where you try
but Andrew Garfield was a good actor.
No, Andrew Garfield was good, but Andrew Garfield cannot. Okay, as good as Andrew Garfield was, he cannot do better than a bad director, and he can't do better by the fact that your Spider-Man is running around at night, like your Batman.
Are you saying similar to Spider-Man, this will be a bad to okay movie with what Andrew Garfield was doing with Spider-Man was kind of interesting, but he never went anywhere with it, to where Pattinson's doing is kind of interesting, but he'll never go anywhere with it?
Pattinson is going nowhere interesting because I've already seen everything he's doing in this trailer.
Yeah, that's another thing we talked about last time, Val. Have you seen, basically, are you expecting anything that you have not seen in this trailer to be presented in the film? And
I think I kind of mentioned, I think because we had this kind of debate last time, yes. We had a conversation, and I think I have to dig
it up. We need to dig that up. Actually, remember what we all said.
Yeah. No. And what I said was, I'm going to reiterate now because it's the same answer. Is that if filmmakers are building a bonfire, I'm okay if someone just grabs a piece of wood and adds it to the fire, so it doesn't go out. So from my perspective, we've been through Burton, we've been through Schumacher, we've been through who was it after that? Nolan? I think it was those three. Am I missing anybody?
Nah,
I think it was pretty much those three.
Zack Snyder.
Oh, Snyder, yes. So to me, we get to this point now, and it's like, if anybody can add a little bit of something that gets it a little bit back to where Burton started it, I'm okay. Because then the next director that gets it, maybe they do a better job. But I can't leave it with what Nolan did. You know what I mean? So it's like when I see this, it's like, yes, wipe it all clean, bring the chaos, bring the Frankenstein monster, because maybe from that we can rebirth and rebuild into a better direction.
You see, Baba, the key thing that POH said, which is the truly talented guys are being ushered out. The guy who should handle Batman right now is Aronofsky. That's the guy. But he's too volatile. He's too mad. And Hollywood doesn't want to give these kinds of properties to the real dudes, say a Cameron, an Aronofsky, a Winding Refn. These guys
look at this image now. See, guys, this is what I try to tell you about the Goon Gang. Look at this. this has got to be one of the cheesiest. Can the sins of my whoever wrote this, did this guy go to like comic book writing school? Look at how nice his writing is.
It looks like Bruce Wayne wrote this. He's standing right there.
No, to be honest, I'm actually scared because I hope it wasn't Bruce Wayne because I'm presuming it's the Riddler that wrote. Because if this is Bruce Wayne.
No, it's got to be Bruce Wayne because you see how he's got the No More Lies, which was in the first teaser, the Coulson, he's got this. And then he highlighted, he squared out the sins of my father. To focus in on it,
That's valid. Okay, I'm going to say this now. if this is this scene, that is Bruce Wayne with no shirt on.
Yep.
And he is the guy that wrote that stuff that on this film is going to be one of the most incredible films.
And POH, you notice the little lamps he has, by each photograph?
To make sure he can see everything.
No.
Yes.
Wait, guys. Happen to your head. They said this film is going to be almost 3 hours.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they have mentioned something like that. Yeah.
It's almost 3 hours.
No this is gonna be a mess.
No way. No. See, people are writing that stuff, man. That is ridiculous. He's like put a square around sins of my father with 2 question marks.
2 question marks.
What the? Oh man.
Renewal is a lie. Savage, Mitchell, Coulson, No More Lies. The sins of my father. This is the Court of Owls, or the whole, like Bruce Wayne, you come from corrupt parents type of angle. Because of course he's going to try and make it in a way political, because he's going to try and make it a rich versus poor theme through the movie. That like Bruce Wayne comes from wealth. He's going to add a little bit of that into the film, probably.
You see, basically, if this is as you described it, Batval, and that is what's happening in this scene. This is what I try to tell people about the Goon Gang.
And you know when he said Batman's the world's greatest detective, and that's never been shown in the film.
So obviously, this is where he's going to show.
This is how he shows it. Yeah, this is how he shows it.
So basically, this is right now. This is the main guy for me right now. In terms of
he's always been
consistent, because do you know that Man of Steel soundtrack was amazing.
Yep.
The film was garbage. Do you know how good that soundtrack was? And that clown made that piece of crap film. As of right now, this is the guy who I can bank on to deliver. I can't trust anybody. No one.
I think you can trust. I said you're going to see Oculus Rift with James Cameron. You're going to see that. I said that guy, he's going to come out with something. I said it's going to be between Dune, Joker, and Avatar to take down. Basically, it's going to take a triple whammy to take down Marvel and all this crap. And I think,
I don't think those guys can be taken down.
And to be honest, I think, you see, here's the answer to you. And obviously, don't say anything. We're not going to go into the detail. But what I keep telling you guys is that art is not oil. That at the end of the day, have hope. Where did Squid Game come from?
Yeah,
Squid Game just tells you that, as they say in Field of Dreams, build it and the people will come.
No. Look at Parasite.
That's it. It's like, at the end of the day, if you do something that, if a director came of age today and directed the right Superman movie, he will destroy everybody.
Actually, I don't
think Villeneuve is that guy though. Villeneuve isn't the guy too.
No. Exactly. See, that's where we now enter that's my frustration. Is that if Villeneuve, I could bank on Villeneuve, Dune would destroy everybody, but I can't bank. But I can't bank on the guy.
The scary thing is that might not be true. For example, like Joker came out, it didn't really do anything. Dune could come out, it could be great, it might not do anything. If that's the case, then that's kind of scary.
One big difference. One big difference
did a lot.
No. But even though there's a big difference, though, is that when you're dealing with magic, planets, CGI on something, that can have a greater effect. So
and also, Baval, here's what I tell people that all that needed to happen 10, 15 years ago, 7 years ago or so, was that Spielberg had to have directed Star Wars. If Spielberg had directed Star Wars, Marvel would not have happened. Everything is a trajectory. It's like you're living in a world where and Hollywood know what they're doing. The average Joe has no idea what quality is, which is why when they're confronted with Squid Game, everybody's heads blows open. Because I'm watching a show now that I have not felt this entertained in years.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And it is just basic, flat, run-of-the-mill, basic entertainment. That is all it is. Basically, when I'm watching Squid Game, I feel like when I was watching Back to the Future. When it's funny, I'm laughing, I'm shocked, I'm disgusted, I'm interested. It's just entertainment. The way it's like supposed to be. Not where I'm watching Matt Reeves, he's trying to tell me so many things he is in this trailer, all of which he's not. This trailer,
he's dark, serious, complicated.
Exactly, like, oh my god, okay, this is a really deep film with a very scary bad guy who's intelligent. This is a very, broken and battered Bruce Wayne.
And also, why didn't Jeffrey Wright have any lines?
Who knows?
He had like no lines in the film, in the trailer.
I mean,
like that's your strongest actor. That literally is your strongest actor, and this is a detective film. It's a detective film.
You know what? Looking at the footage, I don't think he's gonna fully utilize him. I don't think he's gonna properly utilize him
in an almost 3-hour film. Jesus,
I don't think so. I mean,
Pavel, you see, Pavel has a point because you can tell from trailers.
You can tell, yeah. He's gonna be there, but he's not gonna be used the right way.
And you're going to be asking that.
Basically, if you're hardly going to use Jeffrey Wright and you have a film almost 3 hours, you see that it's going to be led by Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, and Colin Farrell.
Yes,
and Paul Dano.
Paul Dano is their boy. That guy is their boy. You're going to see Paul Dano like you've never seen him before. Because Matt Reeves is going to try to tell you why. Because as far as Matt Reeves is concerned, Paul Dano is incredible. So he's going to spend this whole film trying to tell you why Paul Dano is just this incredible guy who's amazing and all. That's what they do.
And then Paul Dano's going to do his best, like criminal serial killer type of performance.
And you're going to see he's going to go so crazy. Basically, what Paul Dano is going to do now is he's going to try to do something better than Heath Ledger. He's going to try to do something better than Joaquin Phoenix. He's going to try to do something better than Jack Nicholson. Everybody in this movie is on a mission to try to show how they are better than A, B, C, D, E. Everyone's on a little mission. Robert Pattinson is going to try and show how he can show the most disturbed, conflicted. The issue is that he's going to become so conflicted. He's going to conflict himself.
Basically, you know what it is too. You know the great actors Robert De Niro, Pacino, etc. They say that Robert De Niro in his acting is one of the best actors because of what he gives to the actor that he's doing the scene with, right? All these young actors in this film, none of them are going to be giving to the acting partner in their scene. They're all going to be trying to steal the scene, and it's just not gonna work.
Look at Colin Farrell. The guy is literally basically. I think that the most fun thing about this thing is going to be Colin Farrell for all the wrong reasons because he's he's a cartoon character. Sorry.
You hit the nail on the head. He's a cartoon character. Colin Farrell's performance in this reminds me of what you saw with Danny DeVito in Batman Returns and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman and Keaton as Batman. They're supposed to be, in a way, a combination of cartoon character and serious drama, but it's not supposed to be 100% one or the other.
He looks look. He looks like that is how they are together.
It's just a guy, man.
What's going on? What's going on with his eye?
No. To me, this looks like it's a relationship, and they have There's obviously something has happened, and they're trying to work it out. That's it.
What is this? What am I
Looks,
looking at?
it looks like she's calming him down. He looks like he's gonna go to sleep.
You know what this? I
No,
don't.
it looks to me like basically he's probably he's finding it hard what guys are saying about him on the streets. And she's saying, look, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. It goes, yeah, but they're saying I can't fight guys anymore. She said, oh, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. That's what that looks like.
Wait, you see this fight scene right here? You see how he kicks the two guys? He's kicking the guy in the back. The guy's not even facing his direction.
Now, that is a rip
Oh,
of
God.
Chris Nolan scene.
This is Superman.
Yeah, that's Superman right
moment.
there.
That's
Yep.
Superman right there.
Or that scene in what's my call it, man? What's it
I
called?
mean, that looks like Mad Max.
That's Mad
Yeah.
Max.
That's
And
Mad
that's-
Max.
Mad Max.
That's the Interceptor back there.
Yes.
I guarantee you, in Mad Max 3, he had a cape just like that.
You see, what I don't get is that how. Okay, can we go back to that shot, please? Can we go back to that shot? Because the Mad Max shot, yeah. See, there's something wrong with this, and I'm thinking that
What is
Okay.
that on his hip?
exactly.
No.
Yeah, what is that?
No. Do you remember when they look at behind him? You know that it's like if his whole body is shaking.
You see, I'm
Wait,
trying to
what?
work out that because this is supposed to be such a great shot. I'd be like, whoa, wow. But there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
And the thing I could probably say you know what the problem is? This shot shows you why the suit is so bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Because this shot is telling you that the thing, as Batman has said so well all the time, that what defines Batman? Silhouette.
Yeah.
The
silhouette.
profile.
Imagery,
Yes.
And this suit does not deliver that.
And you
Which
know
is
the
why
craziest?
Your suits have, because can you imagine? This would be actually a bloody amazing
Oh yes,
shot.
it
Yes.
should be. It should be.
If he looked like, see,
No. Imagine this exact shot with the Batman Return suit.
exactly.
Oh my
Because
God, this is a different scene.
Imagine because I'm going to say this shot with the returns. You see, and here's what I would tell guys, and this is what guys don't tell. What you should see in this shot, you have to see the things on his, his forearms. Those spikes
Yeah.
that come out.
There's no eyes either. You don't see
You
his
have to
eyes.
see that.
You
have
can't
to
see
the
this like
eyes.
round thing on his
You
leg.
have to
That shouldn't
see
be
the
there.
That round thing should. He has done so many things wrong because, and the sad thing is that if he did it right,
Yep.
this would actually be because what he
Oh, it
wants
will be
is
good.
is
Yeah,
that
this,
this.
what is that? That's a
Yeah.
water. It's a water bottle, right? Is that a water?
It's a canteen.
I think. Yeah.
But he's also if you go back to the shot, he has water and rain coming out on the foreground, fire in the background. He has the shot upside down because it's from the POV of the penguin, right? So he's literally throwing the kitchen sink at you, right? And when they said Matt Reeves was going to do a Batman movie, I watched Planet of the Apes. I said, wow, there's a lot of silhouette wide shots in Planet of the Apes. This is going to be perfect for Batman because silhouette it's kind of integral to the Batman character in the comics. You see it all the time. Burton used it all the time. But if you go back and you see the scene where Catwoman and him are silhouette, I've got the picture. Catwoman looks okay. He doesn't. If it's a wide shot, Catwoman looks okay, but he doesn't.
I mean, look at that again. Look
And
at
this is
how-
Selena. This is Selena Kyle.
No, she's-
I don't.
So
she's
sorry,
not gonna
this
have
is-
her mask.
My issue here is, this just looks odd.
Look at how clunky. It's so clunky.
Yeah, like it just looks so very
it's so
wonky.
clunky.
It's like the
No.
cape is attached to a stick figure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, guys, you know what? It's like, man, as I said, it ain't gonna work. You see,
But no, that is very good prosthetics on Colin. Why you had to do it, I don't know, but that's very good prosthetics on
Yeah.
how they did that to
It
him.
actually does look good.
I don't get the casting. I personally don't get.
Oh no, it makes no sense.
I don't. Man.
It
You know,
makes no sense.
We haven't even seen Totoro as Carmine Falcone or any bit of that whole thing.
Yep.
And I bet you he's a large part of the movie.
I just.
Look at this. He's just taking bullets,
There's just too
absorbing
much
bullets.
to this whole suits thing and
I
everything.
said
Yeah, it doesn't make
whole,
sense.
Look, the whole melting a gun to make that your emblem stuff. It's
When
a
I-
really
I don't
it's
know.
a really cool idea conceptually, but in practice, it doesn't make any sense for a costume.
This just looks like a guy in it. That is Robert Pattinson wearing a suit.
Why do I get Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly vibe from this?
You see, you know that I've actually been trying to pretend that isn't happening. Like,
Hold on,
like
I've just ignored it.
because I kind of keep seeing bits on Google News, like
Hold on.
apparently they are together. I'd like to pretend that just isn't happening.
What do you think about these ideas? Because they're mentioning that this is like a neo-noir type of thing, right? So what do you think about the idea that one possibility, this cup with the question mark is the end of the film, or during the film there's a time jump in the middle of the film where you jump forward like 3 months later after he failed, and now you catch up and actually catch the Riddler with a more mature Batman.
Hmm.
But what do you think about those two possibilities? Either
would
the
like-
time jump or the cup is the end of the film.
I would like the latter, the time jump, as you said.
Because in
Right.
neo-noir, the protagonist usually fails at the end.
Hmm.
Or noir in general.
Oh damn! That's not a costume was way better, you know.
You don't catch the criminal.
Sorry, I just saw when he was scrolling.
Hmm.
I mean, so to be honest with you,
my
I'm
Lord.
just trying to wrap my head around that suit. Like,
She
I'm
doesn't
so
look bad as
confused
Kyle.
about the suit.
I don't know how you guys feel. I don't think she like certain iterations of Selena Kyle in the comic books. I think they kind of nailed the look with her.
No,
She
look,
looks fine.
look, no, look,
I have a
look,
problem with
look,
how she looks.
Just the
look,
look.
I'll put
Yeah.
it very simply for you, Chosen One.
Yes, sir.
Every single time I enter my apartment, do you know what I always say? Honey, I'm home. I forgot. I'm not married. So, Michelle Pfeiffer, because it's such a particular kind of role, and she so clinched it that I think she retired to the role.
Mm.
Because see, when you're not doing female roles and female roles like that, you need to so hit it on the sweet spot.
Oh yeah.
Honest,
They're
look,
never-
Michelle,
they're never-
Michelle Pfeiffer ain't no Academy Award actress. So I've never been able to work out exactly what happened in Batman Returns.
It was Burton.
It was Burton. He
It was
directed
Burton.
her. Yeah, he directed her.
I just look. I don't get it
Look,
because that's Catwoman.
Yeah,
That's what
like
I'm
for me, I don't know how anybody can, because
Well-
she just hit it on the sweetest spot possible. That I don't like. You can't go better than that. You can't.
No,
And that's
This
that's
will be-
all time. In female roles, that's all time.
Yeah, I don't think. See, the only shot. To your point, have hope. I do believe there is a better Catwoman out there, but
There isn't.
But again, well, how about this? What I'm trying to say is, it can happen, almost like a perfect storm. But because of the things that you've mentioned, as far as how people are handling strong female characters today, the Rays and the Batwomans, it cannot.
Oh, no,
happen.
it's chosen. Do you know why it can't? Because back in '92, this was pre-women's lib. Women can do what guys can do. Women are stabbing up guys and everything. So things were just pure.
Okay, look. Can I say about in terms of what Chosen said and about can there be a better? Here's what I'll say about Michelle Pfeiffer. It's like you take Heath Ledger. Can anybody be better than what he did in Dark Knight? And
Hell no.
I would say no, because when you now look at Joaquin Phoenix is parallel. He's gone in a different trajectory, and for what Joaquin Phoenix did, nobody can do that better.
Yeah.
It's like you.
Yeah, but I
can't-
think Nicholson did do better though.
But that's
Overall.
okay. I get what you're saying.
See, okay, I don't know about because to me it's like with Catwoman. How can you be better than what she did?
No. You can't be better at what she did trying to do what she did. That's not what I mean. What I'm trying to say is I think, to your point, when you're bringing up Joaquin and Heath, I think there's another Catwoman out there that could,
Of course.
that could.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, you see, and I'm saying that, like, you see, now, personally for me, if there's another Catwoman, I'm not, okay, you know what, maybe there is. Maybe it's a Catwoman who's just a psycho.
Wait, can you
Okay,
click on
let's
that
say-
card, please?
Sure.
The Batmobile image. Can you click on the Batmobile image?
The Interceptor.
Incredible. Incredible.
Mm.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm gobsmacked.
Basically, I'm going to go and pick up the kids from school at 5 p.m.
I'm
I'll be back.
gobsmacked.
Basically,
You know, there's toys that came out for the film, and it looks like the Batcave is a railroad, like a abandoned station.
Is that where he is? No.
That's why
Actually, is that where he is right
That
now?
might be where he is in the picture. Yeah.
It might be, but
it doesn't. You know what? I'm actually seriously curious. This movie makes no sense.
there's a point in the trailer where he says, in typical film noir fashion, "It's a game and Riddler's the match." Like, this is literally going to be Matt Reeves throwing the kitchen sink at you with references from so many movies, so many genre mashups that it's going to be uneven. Moment to moment, it's going to be uneven.
Why? See, can we bring back Tim Burton? Why is Bat? Do you know this is like daytime?
Soft
We
eyes.
can clearly see him clearly.
Soft eyes.
Looks like it might rain in a little bit. It's a little cloudy. Yeah.
He's gonna start sparkling.
soft eyes.
Why
Soft.
can't you just put this guy in the dark, man?
That's what I was saying earlier. You've seen him too much.
Megan Fox.
At least, I mean, if you don't have a good costume, at least use the lighting to hide it. You know.
Oh, and this Riddler is so over the top. Look at his outfit.
Yeah, I can't even work out what exactly.
What is going on with what's going on with him? Like, his is supposed to be the simple outfit, right? Like, he's wearing a coat or something.
Yeah.
But even his outfit's complicated.
So it's year 2 Riddler. I don't know, man. Jeez. Ay. Man, I'm trying
Hi,
to.
papi.
He's so
Also,
perfect. He's
has
so
anybody-
perfect. I want to die.
We've got to ask this question. This cowl looks like one of the softest cowls, right? It's stitched up. It's got like stitching in it. It looks pretty soft, right?
Blow
And
it
he's
and it will
walking-
disappear.
And this is the same guy that's walking head on into automatic machine gun fire.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
With this cowl?
Yep.
And can somebody answer me this question? If you know you have your eyes exposed and your
Yep.
mouth area exposed,
Exactly.
why would you walk head on into bullets?
That's why I understand Have Hope when he says his entire face should be black. 100%. I agree. I thought about this a long time ago. Yes, I agree with that. They need to. Go
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Go ahead.
but that doesn't mean you have your entire face has armor on it. It just
Well,
means
yeah.
that you wear black. So basically, there might be a bit of controversy because basically we're talking about blackface, basically.
Well,
But you
Well,
know,
you see, I said that, but it depends on how you do, because my thing is, you never see him as Bruce Wayne in blackface, but whenever you see him as wait, can you share my screen? Can I share my screen?
yeah.
See, this is the greatest Batman still image of all time. See, this is Batman. This right here, this is Batman.
Yeah.
And nobody has ever reached this level of aura or psychology. Nobody.
And you know the crazy thing about Burton design-wise is he'll do things that are instinctual. They're not logical, right? Like Chris Nolan and Reeves, they'll talk from a logical perspective of why something works and why it should be done and how it's done that way. Burton will do things that are not logical. They're instinctual, right?
Yeah,
like
no,
he just knows. It comes from the subtext of his mind, right?
It's
The
talent,
subconscious.
man.
No.
Like making
Because,
the
like-
bat symbol yellow, like who would know that would work?
No,
Like-
because you see, but when they asked him, because the first thing he said was like, no, Batman, it's all black, like no discussion. No, it's black, it's all black. And I was like, Robin, nah, Robin.
and what does he say about Superman? He goes, the main thing, see, his jump off from Batman is that it's all black and he's, whatever you call it. Superman, his first jump off is that he's an alien.
There we go.
Alien. So you know exactly the trajectory this guy was going to go down on what you call it if he did his Superman movie. So for me, and there's like, look, what I really like about this Matt Reeves trailer is that I know that I'm not interested. So basically, he's done me a big favor because I'm off the train. I'm like, okay, whatever. Am I going to turn up to watch it? Who knows? I have zero interest in the because I already don't like those guys, Goon Gang. I don't like it. So now I'm just like, okay, fine, because the kind of the carrot that was dang is okay. It's Batman. But you've shown me something like this is not Batman. This isn't Batman. Like that guy in that bizarre Commando Mad Max costume. That's not Batman. I don't recognize that guy. That doesn't look like Batman to me. I don't recognize it. So what am I watching? Which is why this is the worst depiction of Batman I've ever seen. Because I'm looking at a guy that I do not recognize that character.
Oh man,
it's a mess, man.
What a horrific cow! Horrific. Absolutely horrid.
all right, guys. So we kind of have to wrap up here in the next 10 minutes.
Check this out. This was a bad suit.
This is a bad suit. Yeah.
Look at its name.
Can you see how many ridges there are on this thing?
See, this is what happens when you give people that are not artists too much money.
Yes, sir.
And then if you look at the Catwoman suit Michelle Pfeiffer had, he did some ingenious things there. He made her skin a little bit more pale. He gave her the stitching, and it just works. But this is not a good suit.
Here you have a guy who is actually probably taller in real life than Tom Hardy, but because Nolan is trying to say he knows more than everybody, he casts Tom Hardy, tells Tom Hardy to wear shoes with platforms in them, and then tells Christian Bale to stoop and slouch. And that's what they did in Rises. Do you know how mentally ill that is? Also that Nolan can say, I told you so. I told you so. You said he couldn't be Bane, but I told you so. You end up you're telling Batman to slouch.
Now let me ask you a question. What's realistic about this image?
Nothing.
But it works, right?
Because it's a
But
nightmare.
it works.
Because it's a nightmare, and all nightmares are real.
And look at his over expressive face. It's ingenious. It's ingenious.
What I've always said is that, look,
There's nothing dark about it, but it is dark.
Heath Ledger, all-time amazing, superb performance and everything. This was horrific. This Joker was because and it goes to Nolan. I was more fearful of this Joker because I know this is real horror. But the Heath Ledger Joker was you're first of all, you're mad, you're smart, you're ingenious, you're a philosopher, you're 5 steps ahead. I'm like, what are you? You're so much that I don't even know what you are as a character.
Guys, how can a man that is mad tell you that I'm like a dog chasing cars?
He's too sane to be insane.
That if I wouldn't know what to do with it if how can a madman tell you that?
Yep.
You want to know the
Stupid exposition.
The guy has psychoanalyzed himself, so he's actually killed himself because he's told himself that what he's doing makes no sense because he wouldn't even know what. I mean, Nolan, man, that guy.
If you were to put all these 3 Jokers in a room together, right? Whose point of view or reaction would you be most interested in? And it would be Jack Nicholson. You would be like, how is this guy going to react to this Heath Ledger Joker and this Joaquin Phoenix Joker? Because you most identify with this Joker.
I'll tell you what he'd do. He'd shake both of their hands.
Damn, that's a good image.
That's a good image right there, isn't it?
I'm just like it's just all things just go. All roads lead back to Burton, man. All roads lead back to Burton.
You think he'll come back if they grant Keaton another solo Batman film? You think he'll come back?
Yes, he would if Tim Burton did it.
Yeah, there we go.
No, yeah. Oh, do you think Tim Burton would come back? Is the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Cool. If somebody went up to Tim Burton and said, Tim, we want you to do whatever you want to do. Basically, it depends on how they pitch it to him. If you pitch it to Tim Burton properly, he'd do it, and he'd do it with Michael Keaton, and they would do it for one simple reason, just to say "I told you so."
Yep.
Yeah. Essentially, the Batman 3 that he never made because they said Batman Returns was too dark. If they told him now go make what you wanted to do, but you have free reign and creative control to do whatever you want, he would do it
I mean,
to complete his trilogy most likely.
yeah,
Yeah.
they can't use it's too dark now. You've got blood speckles on this Flash.
No, yeah. No. I mean, if you told him like literally like Tim Burton, do what you want,
Yeah,
like
Damn. If ever there was a time, now's the time for that, man. If
Yep.
ever there was a time.
yep.
Jeez.
And to be honest with you, it's like it's one of those weird things that it could happen.
Like this goes back to Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill, after he did Star Wars, was like, oh, just this whole Star Wars thing. As he grew older, he now understood, oh, this Luke Skywalker thing is a big deal. Keaton, with how much people went against him and abuse, was like, look, after the Batman, I'm done. But in his older age, he now sees how much of a big deal it is. And I think for Keaton, I can bet you that the amount of people that go up and say, bro, you're my favorite Batman, bro, I'm changing my life. He now knows, no. Even post Nolan, this thing, my Batman still stands strong. So in old age, they now know the see, for me, I don't know where Tim Burton's mind is at currently, whether he'll even be bothered, but that's the Flash teaser, man.
That beginning, basically, the worst thing in the world those guys could have ever done is put Keaton in that film, because I couldn't give a toss what that idiot is doing in that film. What that little punk is running, I couldn't give a rat's ass what he's doing.
No, and I know, like, you see, the issue is that Andy Muschietti, whatever the director is, because see, when you look at this image is Burton. Look at the lighting.
Yep.
How this whole image looks like. That's Clown, whoever directing that's Flash film can't do this.
Of course he can't. Of course he can't.
He can't do this.
He's
So
gonna try.
all we're gonna do is we're just gonna see like somebody trying to mimic Burton very, very badly. So it's gonna look weird. it's gonna feel weird.
Oh, all right, guys. Last words. Anybody want to go first?
Okay, look, I'll go first. I'm out. Not interested. Rubbish.
Infinity.
Yeah, after having this long discussion, I'm gonna have to think long and hard about this, but I think I might be out as well, because it's not looking. This trailer was important, man, and they dropped the ball, man. I'm
Boom.
sorry to say that, but they did.
But well,
for me, I'm interested in what Pattinson does. I think it's going to be second to Batman 89, Batman Returns, and I think it will be, to me, a stepping stone in the right direction after what Nolan did. But that's about it. A stepping stone until another director gets a hold of it.
I know that this Batman film can't be great because the suit is garbage, but I'm interested just to see what he does in the film. So I'm just interested. I'm just looking at specific things. So the fighting, story elements, how he's now going to present a more realistic Riddler. So there's just particular elements I understand. Okay, that's interesting. So sort of what Batman is saying is that okay, this may be a step in a much more interesting direction rather than that piece of crap that Nolan gave us. But ultimately, all roads lead back to Keaton.
Yep. I'm just gonna come out and say that Flash trailer was the best trailer all year.
Yeah. Like,
And it wasn't even a real trailer.
hearing his voice. I'm going to watch the trailer again now. Actually, I'm gonna watch that thing again, man.
What happened to Chosen?
I have no idea.
there.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, man. It's. I think we've reached a very sad place, guys. Where we're looking for cameos, scraps. Keaton voices. Very, very unfortunate. But I do believe that with this film, I think this Matt Reeves, this Batman is going to end things. It's going to be a real ender for a lot of things. I think it's going to do so not well. I don't think you're going to see a part 2. I think this might, it's going to be like, nah.
And then they'll have another reboot with another Batman, maybe black or Chinese.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's like, because you have to, guys, you got to think, where are they going to get viewers from? Because guys who say they are Batman fans, they're going to watch a film that they're not going to see. They all think they're going to wait. Hang on, I'm feeling this guy. Like, this guy doesn't make me feel the way Batman should make me feel.
Yeah,
And they won't be able to articulate it. They just know that, I don't really want to watch it again because I don't really feel it. I don't feel like it's Batman. But the average viewer hasn't thought about that. They just think, oh, okay, so oh yeah, okay, so it's really good. But when you watch it, you're gonna be like, I'm just watching a film. I don't feel those things because the artist that designed his costume, the comic book writers, these guys are not. These guys weren't stupid. They know what they're doing. See, people say, "Oh, that's just for young boys. They're just silly. They just want big muscles and the manly guy, the hetero guy." Guys, yes, they do want that, and there's a reason for that because it makes you feel a particular way. And a Batman fan goes to watch Batman because he wants to feel a particular way. The Masters of the Universe fan goes to watch He-Man because he wants to feel a particular way. It is like drugs. And if you don't give them the drugs, they won't come back. It's not rocket science.
And it's funny you mentioned feeling, right? Because there's a certain feeling I think that you get when you watch Batman 89 or Batman Returns. There's a feeling that's similar to that in this trailer when it opens up with Keaton and the mansion. You get that same type of feeling, and that's the same. That's the same. Yeah, and if you remember the animated series, Batman the animated series, when the WB logo comes up and it turns into the spotlight.
Yeah.
It had the same feeling. So it's like you can't place it, you can't logically explain it, but all three of those interpretations have that feeling that make it a Batman thing. Whatever it is.
Exactly. And for all the reasons that I tried to say at the beginning of this conversation about the depiction, that's never happened in this trailer. At no point did they establish that feeling of Batman. Even
I think your chosen one says that we have to wrap. He said he was having computer issues.
Right. Basically, even in the most rubbish things, from Rises to all the other things, there was that thing that Batman's kind of here. He was never here. Anyway, look, that's it, man. I'm out. I'm done.
Bottom Keaton. That's it. Bottom Keaton.
Yep.
Okay, guys, I'm out. It was a good chat.
All right.
Yep.
Peace out. Be good. Stay safe. Ciao.
All right, man. You too.